Chapter 1. The Mysterious Object. The studio lights cast a warm glow over Dr. Becker as he leaned comfortably into his chair, his eyes twinkling with a mix of intelligence and charisma. Across from him, Dr. Taylor, her posture rigid with a hint of skepticism, waited for her turn to speak. Dr. Becker, the anchor, a sharp-suited man with a penetrating gaze, began. "You've become quite the media sensation with your theories about this object orbiting the moon. Can you tell us more?" Becker's smile widened, revealing his enjoyment of the spotlight. "Certainly. We're looking at what I believe is an extraterrestrial probe. It's unlike anything we've ever seen." The camera zoomed in on Taylor, capturing her frown. "With respect, Dr. Becker, we need more data before jumping to such sensational conclusions. The thing is over 6 miles long. It's large enough and bright enough to be observed in a good pair of binoculars. That's an awfully large probe." Becker chuckled. Dr. Taylor, always the skeptic. But consider this: its polar trajectory, the obvious scans of the lunar surface, the complete disregard of Earth. Despite every attempt to communicate with it, there has been no response whatsoever. As to its size, that could simply mean that its propulsion system is enormous, which, by the way, is what one might expect of a vessel capable of traveling between the stars. But what could it mean? What could they want? The anchor interjected. The studio was filled with high-tech screens displaying the enigmatic object. It pulsed with an intense energy, flashing brightly every 3 seconds. Becker's face turned serious. "If it is, as I suspect, a probe, it might be here to observe, or what?" Dr. Taylor leaned forward, her voice a blend of fear and excitement. "Or to map out resources," Becker calmly replied. The world was unprepared for its first encounter with an alien emissary. NASA and the European Space Agency worked together on an emergency program to send a manned expedition to intercept the alien vessel and try to open a line of communication with its occupants if there were any. China managed to assemble a hurried program of its own, but a malfunction resulted in a spectacular explosion before it cleared the launch pad. 4 of China's astronauts and mankind's only chance at first contact vanished on that day. 3 days later, the alien vessel disappeared. After its orbit swept it behind the moon, it failed to reappear. Did it crash on the far side? Did it land on the moon? Or did it simply leave our solar system in the same way that it had entered, unobserved? The mystery led to a torrent of conspiracy theories. There was no longer any doubt that civilizations existed on other planets, but this only fueled more speculation as to what they were like and what it meant. The interest in space travel was renewed, but goals and objectives were less clear. Exploration, defense, or colonization were hotly debated among politicians and the public. 3 moon probes were launched by NASA to try and determine what the alien interest in the moon was, and in preparation for the alien probe's return, if it returned. But nothing happened, at least not until nearly a year later.